Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay and dealing with this heat. I have to say it was really hard last week. I might make a video about how to deal with the heat because I needed one. Anyway, hope you're all doing okay. Today's Monday, the 1st of June, and I thought I would update you on how I'm doing with the course. As I was really unwell when I made the last video, I feel like it was all over the place, and I decided I wanted to make a new video which will be a lot more clearer, which is this one, and I might actually even delete the one before. For this update, I wanted to gather my thoughts and put it all together and give you a clear overview of how the course is going so far. So first of all, now that I'm better, not in the high temperature infection mode, and I'm much better from that, I've decided to look at my course, study my course every Sunday morning. So yesterday was Sunday and I did just that. My aim is to do it every Sunday morning, and if it doesn't happen on a Sunday morning, then it can be a Sunday afternoon, it can be a Monday. If things happen, you know, it doesn't matter, but that's kind of the schedule I'm going to try and stick by. I did write some notes, so I may keep looking at my notes. I actually wrote quite a few notes yesterday. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed has never happened to me before. I studied nutrition, so I did, you know, I took that on board, and I had case studies and clients, and that I had to try to slowly change habits and things like that, and I saw how that worked. And also I've done a lot of self-help with different things, you know. Never in my life have I absorbed, quitting smoking, that was one. I remember, what was his name? Not Alan Carr, something like that. I quit smoking twice with that. I mean, I haven't smoked since I was 30. Basically, I have genuinely absorbed all the information so far, and they really are like bite-sized, and like they'll talk about something in one lesson and then later talk about it more. And just from the start, I took everything on, and my habits and my lifestyle habits, my nutrition habits, my thinking, my taking in the information that was given to me. And I really thought to myself, you know, knowledge is power. I have this power of knowing. For example, if I eat this fruit, that is going to help my eyes because of this, that, and the other, because it has this in it and this absorbed with that. But it's just second nature, and knowing it makes me like, oh, okay, I'm definitely going to eat that, and I'm definitely not going to eat that, and I'm definitely going to cook it this way, and but it just comes second nature, no stress. Honestly, I have not had this with anything else I've ever done. So thank God for that. So what I notice is when I'm shopping, I'll get to all that actually. Okay, so first thing is I'm absorbing everything, and it's really helping me. I'm just going to keep looking at my notes, okay? Yeah, so some topics have only been introduced briefly, I've written here, and will be covered in more depth later. But already I feel I understand so much more about nutrition, inflammation, and the reasons behind the recommendations. I'm not just learning what to do, but I'm learning why I should do it. You know, I think that's the main thing, is I'm not learning just what to do, but I'm learning why I should be doing it. And I think when you know the why, that's the most important thing. When you know the why, then you know what's going on and what you should and shouldn't do. And for me personally, when I see the science behind things, is this a bit too dark, guys? I'm sorry, I'm not right in front of the window because I decided to sit on a chair instead of my bed today. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when I know the scientific reasons, the biochemistry, the just different things, you know, the science behind things, it just, I can take that in better. Like, I have an understanding. It's not just somebody saying, like, be in this environment because it's good for inflammation. It's like, why is it good for inflammation? And so here you get the information about inflammation. And another thing is the course doesn't expect you to do everything at once. In fact, I think they discourage it. They do. At times they say, don't try all this. Don't worry about all that, you know. And then, seriously, I think it was in lesson 6, which I just finished. Maybe lesson 5 had something. But that said, you know, why don't you look at the recipes, or why don't you try this part of maybe meal prepping, but very, very little part. It's not even not the big thing, just starting very, very little. And actually I have homework, proper homework this time, so I'm looking forward to doing it, especially because they've made it so easy and just one little thing. Another thing that I did touch on in the last video, and I'm going to read you what I wrote because this is much more clearer than what I was trying to say. So one of my original concerns was whether I would need to adapt the course to my pre-diabetes. And at that point I was thinking like really heavily adapt, because I was really thinking, what do I do about my pre-diabetes? So I've written here, what I actually found is that, you know, that it all overlaps, because the course does talk about blood sugar regulation, and of course inflammation and nutrition for us, and also supporting the body as a whole. So instead of me following like different approaches, it all worked together. Like, I just found it all working together. So I was really, really happy that I didn't have to worry about finding other protocols for different issues that I have. It's all in here because they think of everything. It's all about Sjögren'S, what works for Sjögren'S. But of course, they also want your body to work the best, because obviously you have to be well. Your body has to be working properly. So, you know, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your balance of everything, you know, your organs, everything. My tripod is not high up, so I'm like this, so I'm sorry that I'm like on you. What else have I said? Oh, this was a great one. So I had been avoiding a certain, well, I'll tell you what it was. So basically, when I did my allergy test, allergy and intolerance, I had some levels for gluten and wheat. So I never ate anything with gluten, which we all know is not good for inflammation anyway, which is one of the biggest problems of Sjogren's. So I wasn't eating gluten, and I wasn't eating wheat. And yeah, because I had that with gluten and wheat. And I was really careful about gluten, not as much as someone who has celiac, but still I was very, very careful. So if I went to a coffee shop and they didn't have gluten-free oat milk, I wouldn't have it. My porridge was always gluten-free, things like that. Even though oats are naturally gluten-free, the way they process them, sometimes there is some gluten there. And Jeremy was talking about all this, and it made me think. And I thought, hold on, well, I'm not celiac. And what are my levels exactly for these allergies and intolerances? So I emailed him as I was in the middle of this course, as you are allowed to email questions. And I emailed and I said, Jeremy, you know, can I have gluten, just normal oats, where they might have a little bit of gluten? And he explained to me what my levels meant in my allergy and intolerance test. And he said, I can certainly have foods. I can certainly have oats. They don't have to be gluten-free oats. And I tell you, that has really like opened, it sounds like a small thing, but it's really opened up my eating, because like I want to have rolled oats. Not everywhere will have gluten-free rolled oats. They'll just have like the really processed ones. Or if I'm in a coffee shop and, oh sorry, this shook. And if I'm in a coffee shop and they only have oat milk but not gluten-free oat milk, then I won't be able to have that drink that I want. And there's some really nice barista oat milks out there that are not gluten-free. I don't know if they're any good for you or not. Okay, I haven't checked that out. But if I want to treat myself once in a while, yeah, I can do that, whatever. And yeah, so actually the day when I had to go and move my storage last Thursday, and I had to go into Gale's, only place I could go to have breakfast. And had I gone there before this, I wouldn't have been able to eat anything there. They do sell gluten-free bread, but you're not allowed to have it on the premises. It's like just to take away. They don't have anything else that's gluten-free. And they had this breakfast. I may have a video or a picture of it. I'll put it up. Which is, it was really nice. It was quinoa pudding, like breakfast thing, with pistachio butter and pistachios and berries, and it was very, very nice. And in the ingredients, there was something to do with oats, I can't remember. And I was like, the old me wouldn't have had it. And I was like, great, I can eat something before the storage. Yeah, and treat myself sitting in a cool restaurant, because it was very hot that day. So yeah, so that was brilliant for me. And just to reiterate that there was a lot in this course that I already knew. Some of it I knew through my own research. Some of them I knew because I had reviewed the course. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it in the description. It goes really into the course. I really review the course rather than on a personal note. So there's more information on the course in that one. And when I did review the course, I did find a few things that I did not know, and they were really important. And I did try to make changes on those. So I was 90%, no, not 90%. I was 70% doing 70% of what this course is talking about. I'm not good at maths, maybe it's a bit less, but I was doing quite a lot, but I think, yeah, 70% sounds good. And since doing the course, I'm doing it all. I am taking on board everything that they're saying, and it's second nature, no effort. In fact, everything has got easier for me. My shopping has got easier for me, my cooking has got easier for me, my prepping has got easier for me, my life has got easier for me, because I was worried about my energy going into prep. I wasted so much energy worrying about these things. It's actually the opposite. It's given me more time and energy and better lifestyle, better nutrition, and I feel healthier and I look healthier. And I obviously didn't when I was going through the illness, and now it's been 6 weeks because I finished 6 lessons, and I'm not even doing everything because we haven't even got to doing everything, and yet I am feeling healthier, and you know, in time we'll see more, and we'll see what else has improved and things. I'm not going to talk about things that have improved yet because I need to give it time, but I do feel improvement, but I'm not quite sure. I need to give it time and think about all that. I did say in the last video, but I'm going to mention it here because I probably will delete that video. When I got ill and I had to be on antibiotics, I was on very strong antibiotics. I was on 3,000 milligrams a day for over 2 weeks, and my stomach really suffered with that. And I eat a lot of pulses, beans, lentils. I eat a lot of that stuff. So I had done a lot of prep and soaked them and stuff like that. And because my stomach was so bad, I couldn't have any of those foods. And it made me realize that I have to make sure that when I do my meal prep, because I hadn't done, to be fair, lesson 6 talks about how to do your meal preps. So I hadn't got to that yet. I was kind of jumping ahead, and I think that's why I didn't do it right. So now that I'm really happy that I did lesson 6 yesterday, that I completed it, because it's taught me how to do meal preps properly. And the things I was thinking, like, oh no, I should have made some soups. Yes, that's in the lesson. Yeah. So anyway, it's a lesson learned as well from practical life that happened, is that for me to make sure that I do have meals ready for times where I am unwell, and unwell in different ways, so different types of foods. So I will make sure that some of the foods don't have any pulses in case I ever have to go on antibiotics again. I decided I would do my meal preps. I said on Mondays. It might be tomorrow now. Today is Monday. I think I'm going to make it Tuesdays. Sunday's course, Tuesday's meal prep. And I still do little preps. Like this morning, I made my porridge. And as I was pouring the porridge and putting everything on, I got a little Tupperware and I made exactly what I put in the bowl in Tupperware and put it in the fridge. I already have things ready in jars as well, like seeds and this and that and the other, and fruit and everything. And so I will put that in the microwave tomorrow, or I'll have it cold, depending. It's soaking anyway all day and night, depending on the weather and how I feel. And then I'll pour the toppings on top. So it really isn't saving me that much time, but it's still like a minute here and a minute there. And just having something ready, it just feels like luxury. And I have been doing this quite a lot lately before the course. What I've been doing is I have been thinking about future me. Now, I think if you have severe fatigue, you can't do that. So it's only because I am better because of my one-to-ones with Jeremy, my protocols, that I am at a stage where I can do this. And also, yeah, so I was going to talk about the mold stuff. That can be another video. But yeah, so I am at that stage where I have more energy, and so I can help myself. So if something, I think about my tomorrow, I think about future me. So if I can do something today that will save me time tomorrow, time and energy tomorrow, I will do it. And it's become this thing, and it's a new thing for me. I've been doing it for the last, I think ever since we moved back here, which February, March, I've been doing it, and I love it. So if it's cleaning, if it's just different things. So it's been really useful, and meal prepping is now one of those things that I'm adding to that. Let me look at the rest of my notes. Oh, and I was saying, another thing I was saying was at the beginning, I was like thinking what foods, this and that, because I hadn't got to the stages of those lessons yet. But what I can say now that I have finished lesson 6 and I will be on lesson 7 next Sunday, I noticed this from last week. When I went shopping the other day, I went and did my supermarket shop. Now I do a combination of online and going into the supermarket, and I do like the heavy stuff online, and then I go because I like to just go. I find supermarkets comforting. Yeah, so I went to the supermarket and it was such an easy shop. I didn't have to think about, oh, is this that? Is this? Do I worry about that? Because it's all covered in the course. You learn it and you know what you should have and what you shouldn't have, and you just naturally get what you need. And Yeah, I don't know if this sounds really simple to people, but for me, I realized that there was a lot of stress and it takes a lot of energy, shopping and deciding what to eat and deciding what to buy and wondering if it's good for you and wondering if it's bad for you. And anyway, that's all gone. Like, it's so easy to shop now. That's another thing. Everything shopping feels less overwhelming and I have a clearer framework. Yeah, and I'm also wasting less as well. Or just basically not putting crap in my body. Oh yeah, and this is interesting because I go out for dinners and lunches. Like, I get invited out sometimes. There's 2 friends who invite me out quite regularly. One of the things was dairy for me because I'm actually allergic to it and I have an intolerance to it. And when the antibiotic thing happened, I had something with dairy. And I really try not to. I really don't. Before, I mean, it's been years that I really don't have dairy. And maybe I would have had it once in a while. But I even went vegan for a while. It's a long time ago when I had, anyway, health issues. I had gallstones and stuff. And then when I found that obviously dairy is inflammatory, I stopped having it too. But that didn't stop me having it like once a year or, oh, there's a blue jay. Guys, I wish I can't turn this around. Maybe I can video it with my, oh, he's flown off. Okay, sorry, I was gonna video it with my iPad and show you guys. There are 2 and they show up almost every day, male and female. Anyway, what was I saying? My ex and I go for an Indian meal once in a while. We both love Indian meals. And the other day I thought to myself, there's one dish, we share 3 dishes, and there's one dish that has dairy in it. And I never really thought about it. And then I thought, let me look at the menu and see, does it have dairy in it? And yes, it does. So when I saw him the last time, I said, you can have all that dish, I'm not touching it because it's got dairy in it. And I made sure that I looked up the ingredients of the others because I really wasn't paying that much attention. I kept thinking, oh, there's a little bit of dairy, once every 2 months, whatever, it's okay. But I think it was because of the course that it made me think, no, like, if I want to be 100% the best I can be for me with this course and just in life, I need to take this seriously. So I was really proud that I didn't have, okay, let's be honest, I took 1 bite. Next time I won't have. But it was a plate this big and I said no, and right at the end it had 1 bite, but that's still, it's better than it was. And then last night I was invited out by another friend who's very set in his ways and is older than me, and I don't want to offend him. And we were going to go to a pub, and I looked at the menu online and I saw I could only have 2 meals there and they were very expensive, and he was inviting me and I felt bad. It was like £35, just for my main dish. And I said to him, I don't feel right, I just looked at the menu, and why don't we try this other pub? Anyway, he decided for us to go to a Turkish restaurant. And I looked at the menu and I knew old me before chronic illness, when he and I would go to Turkish restaurants, we would order a meze, cold and hot and everything. And I knew almost all of the cold meze was dairy. And there were only a few in the hot that I could have, because I'm considering other things as well. And I prepared myself for that conversation before going. So he said, hey, why don't we have this? You can have that. And why don't we share meza? And I said, yeah, that's fine. But I'm afraid I can't have any in the cold. You're welcome to have whatever you want. And I can only have the option of 3 things in the, which is pretty good, in the hot. And he said, okay, that's fine. And he chose one of those 3 things in the hot. And we shared that, no problem. And it made me feel very empowered. It made me feel much better health-wise. I didn't feel bad the next day, which is today. Yeah. He also said, would you like a glass of champagne? Would you like some wine? And I was like, if I wasn't, you know, I said next time I might have a glass of champagne. That sounds lovely. But I want to be well. I have a lot to do, and I don't want to risk it. So I just had water. So that was another thing that I think 100%, I know that the course made me think differently and approach things, situations differently, which all these little steps make you feel better and better. Let me see what else I wrote. I'm going to try not make this very long, so I'll try to wrap it up soon. Guys, I'm just going to go get some water actually, because I am boiling in here. I'm going to pause it, open the window, put fan on, and I'll come back. I just need to cool down. It's very hot in here. Guys, I put my hair up. I put some water on my face. I just wanted to show you, I've got this in the fridge. It gets nice and cold, but I only did it this morning, so it's not that cold yet. I wanted to actually say that I noticed I was getting hot, and I could have carried on more and then gone and cooled myself down after the video. And I have really learned to listen to my body. Just, you know, when you're working or doing something that feels like work, just get this lighter. And have some water. And you think, oh, let me give you another 5 minutes. Let me give you another 5 minutes or something. Or you don't even realize you're so absorbed, and then it's kind of too late. You feel awful after. I would have carried on, the old me would have carried on with this video, and then after it was finished, go and cool myself down. In fact, I didn't even cool myself down enough because I want to finish this video. But still, I paused. I put on my air purifier and the fan. I went into the other room, which was cooler, and I got water. I washed my face. I put my hair up. I put water under, cold water under on my wrists. I used to work at, many years ago in my 20s, I had my favorite job, which was working as a bartender at the Marriott Hotel, and I loved it. Oh, it was the best time ever. And I only quit because I had to, because my daughter was very little. Hospitality wages are very low, and definitely were then, and I couldn't afford having a babysitter, and I needed to be there. The manager, okay, it's a whole story. You guys, I don't know if you want to hear it. If you want to hear it, I'll tell you in another video, because I'm going to try to stick to this. But anyway, the point is, one day they were short of staff, and I had to go and help in room service, and I had to go into the kitchen, and I wasn't used to a hot kitchen, and I got really hot, and the chef said, put water on your wrists. And so I've learned that now. What's the science behind it? I'll find out, and I'll write it down here. And yeah, so I just went and did that, which was helpful. Anyway, let's get back to the course. So I talked about the meal prep, the shopping, all the nutrition side. What I love now is I'm only eating things that are supporting my body, that are supporting on healing my Sjögren'S in every way. They have thought of everything. So it's any symptom you may have of Sjögren'S, any effects that Sjögren'S will have on your body, on your organs, on everything. So I know, you know, fatigue, this, that, everything. So I know that everything I'm feeding myself is helping, and what a great feeling. And I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. And I'm sure I'll be feeling it more and more as well. So it's wonderful, wonderful. Also with my meal prep, they give you a lot of resources on the course, and they also give templates to things. And there is a template of a meal plan, but it's done in a really simple way and a useful way. So you can do it digitally, but I'd like to print it off. So I'm going to go to the library today or tomorrow and print it off and have it in my kitchen. And I am going to like actually write down the meals I'm going to have. It's just going to get so much easier, and what I need to shop for. And they have shopping lists that you can just look at digitally, or you can print off everything. They've got everything, so it's really, yeah, easy. Now about so far the support. Well, first of all, when I emailed Jeremy the little questionnaire thing at the beginning of the course to show where we're at, you know, how much, what do you suffer with, and all that kind of stuff. I did, and I said this in my last video, but I'm deleting that, so I'm saying it again here. I may delete it, I'm not sure. Was that when I emailed Jeremy with those answers to his questions, I did it on like a holiday. I think it was like, I don't know if it was Easter or it probably was. I think it was. So it was like, say, Good Friday. Maybe I emailed it on Thursday night or Friday morning. So it was a holiday. And then Bank Holiday Monday was a holiday. So basically, he replied back on the Tuesday, which was the next working day. And he had looked at it and he had questioned, because I said I don't have chronic fatigue. And he said, what, you don't have any energy issues? And I was like, okay, yeah, I do have some energy issues. And it was an eye-opener to the fact that, yeah, I could still be better, and I could still gain more energy than I have now. I don't need energy. I have energy for my day-to-day things, and I have energy to do some exercise, some walking, but I still wouldn't have energy to work full-time or even part-time, like a 9 to 5, 3 days a week. No way. So yeah, so like things like that. So there is definitely improvement that could be made. Not that I've tried all of the things I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that was useful, and it was nice that I got the reply back like the next working day. And then I also emailed about my intolerance allergy oat thing, and I got an email back immediate. I don't remember, but it was pretty immediate. I can't remember if it was the same day or the next day, but it was quick. And that was really useful, and it changed a lot for me. It freed up, you know, some of my, what's the word? Restrictions. And then I thought to myself, but I'm doing this kind of on my own. It would be good to have someone check in and stuff like that once in a while. So I emailed Jeremy suggesting this, and it turned out, because I was doing the course, I'd already had it, and I was doing it a different way. I wasn't doing it like a normal person would, like you guys would if you went on it. And he's like, oh no, we do, but oh, I should like press this, and so you can get the emails and you can get on this. Actually, I'll read his email, because I wrote down what I got from it, but it's better to read it from his mouth. Let me get the email. Okay, so this is what he said. Regarding check-ins, we offer them as part of the supported program, usually fortnightly check-ins, but could be more if need be. For people on this, so there's different, must be like tiers, different types. So I think there's one which is the supported program, and then there's the one that's the self-guided program. So the supported has the fortnightly check-ins or more. For people in the self-guided option, I check in with them if we see they're not moving through the program, and we will schedule a Zoom check-in if need be with no additional cost, or they can just reply by email. So there's support even for the people who have not opted for like major support, that they're going to do it on their own, but they're still keeping an eye on them. They're still thinking, oh, hold on, you know, she hasn't moved on to the next lesson. It's been a month or whatever, I don't know. They stopped the group Zooms, and which was part of the course last year. So there are no group Zooms, but there are one-to-one Zooms, either regularly for the supported people or ad hoc for the self-guided. So there's so much support. There are additional consultations people can book that are extra. There's personalized. My next lesson is about supplements. I'll put the title there. But there are additional consultations people can book that are extra personalized supplementation consultations, which is more in-depth and targeted than the course video guidance. But I remember I learned a lot from that course one, and I actually implemented some of that yesterday and the day before, because I did a lot on that storage move thing, and I wanted to make sure I don't crash and I'm good. And that was learned from the course of me just glancing at it for the review. So I'm really looking forward to that course, that lesson tomorrow, next week. Also, people do get emails letting them know when the next lesson is available, but it seems you don't get them because you're not in the normal program, and he's changed it for me. So he changed it for me, and I got an email for when I finished lesson 5, and I got an email for when I finished lesson 6, and that really made me feel looked after. It made me, you know, we have a lot going on in life. Some of us have fatigue, some of us have brain fog, some of us have both of those. Some of us are overwhelmed, and it's nice to get that email after you finish a lesson saying, you know, well done, you learned this in this lesson, your next lesson's going to be that. Just a little whatever, I don't remember all that's being said. And it just makes you feel seen, makes you feel good that, hey, yeah, I finished that lesson, and oh wow, I got this to look forward to, and wow, they're keeping an eye on me. And if I'm not well and I don't carry on with the lesson, like I haven't touched the lesson for a month, I'll get a message, hey, are you okay? How's it going? I don't know what they'll say, but you'll get support. So that was wonderful. Yeah, I think that's it now. I think that's it for today. I just really wanted to reaffirm and also let you know exactly how I feel about the course so far and what have been the benefits for me. Plenty, as you saw. And yeah, so basically my eating habits have changed. I am more aware. I am more empowered. I am making lifestyle and changes, and without even feeling like I'm making an effort. It feels completely effortless, and it's all with ease. I stress for nothing. I think if anybody is going to do the lesson, I will give this one piece of advice. Don't preempt. Don't try to change anything. Just start the lessons. Don't do anything. I mean, if you feel like you want to do some things, do them, but don't feel stressed about doing them, because the lesson will guide you. The lessons will guide you. And as time goes by, lesson after lesson, you'll see that you're incorporating and all that you need to help you with your Sjogren's. So don't stress about it. Leave it to Jeremy and Paloma. Leave it to the course. Leave it to the lessons, and it will just come naturally. At least it did for me. At least it did for me. And you will get support and encouragement, and you will get questions answered. And yeah, that's how it's been so far. And I think I will probably leave it for about 6 weeks, do another 6 lessons, and then come back on here. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I can either ask Jeremy or Paloma, or if there's questions directly to me, I can reply. And if you'd like a video on something more specific or something that I've talked about here, I can put it in that next video. Wishing you guys a comfortable next few weeks, and I will see you in about 6 weeks' time. Okay, bye-bye.